The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. That is a quote by Saint Augustine.
Welcome to Trina Talk. Trina Talk is a weekly podcast that will inspire and empower women of all ages to strive for the impossible. Your host, Trina L. Martin from TrinaMartin.com, is a motivational speaker, leader, and cyber tech expert. Every week, Trina will share wisdom gained from her life experiences and lessons learned while pursuing her goals to inspire you to achieve the next level in your life. Now, your host, Trina L. Martin.
Hello, welcome to Trina Talk. I am your host, Trina L. Martin, and this is episode 69. Before I get into this week's episode, I just want to let you guys know that I am now accepting new clients for my personal development and leadership coaching. I coach on mindset change, empowerment, leadership, and setting goals. I do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and I'll even come out to your business to do training and workshops. So if you are an emerging leader, an entrepreneur, or a business that want to empower your employees, I am the person for you. Also, by being a veteran woman, I am very passionate about working with other veteran women. So if you're a veteran woman in transition, you're a company that does business with a business that is owned by a veteran woman, or you employ veteran women, please reach out to me because I speak the language and I help not only veterans, but everyone gain clarity, confidence, maintain the focus they need, and become resilient. And not only will that help you in your business and at your bottom line, that would also help your employees personally. And we all know that if you can't change your life and your mindset personally, you're not going to be any good to a corporation. Now on to this week's episode. The topic of this week's episode is Lost But Found. My guest this week is Yogita Ridgely. Yogita is an entrepreneur, influencer, solo travel specialist, mindset coach, award-winning international speaker, author, and blogger. She inspires, educates, and brings awareness to women about how important inner self-love and belief is. Hello, Yogita. Welcome to Trina Talk.
Hi, Trina. It's lovely to be here and speaking with you and sharing my story. I'm so excited.
You know, I am so excited to have you speaking with me. So I mean, we've been talking a little bit off air and we have a lot of things in common. And I'm so excited for you to share your story with the listeners. So why don't you dive right in and do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I have a business called Traveling with Me, Myself, and I. And the business part of it is I do everything to do with traveling, including all the travel bookings and itineraries and educating people on different insights of travel tips. But there is a tiny little catch. It's everything to do with solo traveling. So I am inspiring people to travel solo. And the reason behind that is you are actually traveling with intention, and that intention is to create better connection with yourself and better connection with everything that you are here to be doing. Clarity, focus, and also I find with my own experience, the more when I am on the road, I am lost, the more I actually am founded. I know it sounds cliche, but it is really one of those feelings that you have to actually experience to know what I'm actually talking about. And everyone that I actually do send on these solo travel trips, they all come back and say to me, oh, I get it, that aha moment. I know what you mean when you say, when you're really lost, you are really found. So it's like a play of words. You lost in terms of your directions, but you found in terms of your purpose. So that's like the message that I'm trying to teach everyone out there, and spread as many stories, tell my stories to spread as much of this message out there. The other twist on the traveling with me, myself, and I is traveling in your own life. So I have this play of words where you're traveling through the world and you're traveling through your own life. And the traveling through your own life is a big picture, is a bigger picture of how we are traveling through our lives, the intention of traveling through our lives. And I find the more we do things with intention, the more we actually find the happiness, the more we attract the abundance and less stress or anxiety or depression. So that's like my whole core business.
Wow, that is so interesting and amazing to me, because I have traveled the world, and mostly all of my trips I have done solo. And I know exactly what you're saying as far as you're lost, but you're found. I find that I actually enjoy traveling solo. At first, when I first started doing it, I was kind of like everyone else. I was scared and wondering what I was going to do. But I have picked up different languages. I have seen cities and immersed myself in cultures. And it's actually very freeing, honestly. Once I get to another country, I forget about everything back home and I'm present in that moment. So it's liberating to do the solo trips. And I hate it when I come across people who are so, especially women, who go, "Oh my God, I can never do that. How do you travel alone? Oh, I'm afraid, or I'm waiting for this magical partner to come and sweep me off my feet." What was it that made you decide to do this kind of business?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. It's actually really funny. I get this a lot. People say, "Oh, it's okay for you to go solo traveling. You don't have kids." Actually, I do have kids. I have 2 daughters. And so hence there's no excuses. And then they say, "Oh, it's okay for you to go solo traveling. You have no husband." It's like, no, that's not true. I do have a husband. The principle of this is that you don't make excuses. The excuses are holding you back from living your true potential. And each one of us are entitled to have some time off, whether it's 2 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It really depends on your lifestyle, how old your kids are, how much you can afford it, to be able to just lock that in. And that's your time. You deserve to have that time. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, isn't that selfish? Like, aren't you being selfish?" The difference between self-love and selfish is like the self-love, you really need to have that. And that I find with solo traveling, you find the self-love from inside out. It's not like, you just get a massage or a facial and it's all on the outside, and 5 seconds later you feel exhausted and tired and back to the chaos of your life. Whereas when you do solo traveling, that self-love comes from inside, because when you sit in the quiet space in your own company, you tend to be a lot more responsible. Like you said, when you were doing that, you learned different languages and you did meet lots of different people, and you forget about home. And the best thing you said that I totally loved was that you feared it, but you still did it. And that's the principle in life. You fear it and you still do it. It's not about jumping off the cliff kind of fear. It's about really wanting to do what puts that fire in your belly. Like, you are excited. You want to wake up next morning because everything you're doing is on intention. It's on purpose. You really are aligned with it. And I find when you sit in the quietness of solo traveling, which is normally 90% of the time, because you might make friends, you might meet more people for dinner and lunch and whatever else, but most of the time you're on your own. You start really thinking about, what do I like, what do I don't like? What do I want to do today? Whatever you choose, it's 100% your responsibilities, whether it's a total mess up or a total amazing experience, it's still your responsibilities. And I find, like in my experiences, this was the funniest one. When I was actually traveling through France, the very first time, I actually didn't really speak French, and I didn't understand it either. But the genius in me went like, how hard can it be? It can't be that hard. So I got the ticket from Paris, and I was taking this train down to Lyon. The tickets were written in French, and I made such a mess of missing my train, spending more money to connect to the next train, and sitting in the wrong cabin when I was supposed to be in the economy cabin. And at the end of the day, it was something I loved at, and I cried at, and all the emotions you could feel in that moment, I felt it. And at the end of the day, I just loved it, even though at the time I was so embarrassed. Oh my God, what a stupid idiot make this stupid mistake, how can you do that? But then I went like, oh, well, it's my mistake. No one's there to point it out that, normally when you're in a family situation, it's always one sister who knows it all, points it out, or your mom will be like, oh my God, we're going to have to spend more money to get next tickets. It's like, no, it's totally my responsibility. And I'm quite happy to go with the flow. And that's changed me in my life situation, where I just go with the flow. If it's a mistake, learn from it. If it's meant to be, it will just happen how it is supposed to happen. So I love that concept of face the fear and do it anyway. And I love it when you say that you feared it, like, go somewhere in a total different country, you don't speak the language, and you just did it anyway. So yeah, I'm super, super happy that you did it.
Yes. Yeah, I find that I do that a lot. And like I said, it's just liberating. It's freeing to me because I learned so much. And like you, I've done that as well, where you do something wrong, you end up spending more money than what you planned on spending, or you end up getting detoured from the route that you wanted to take. But at the end of the day, it's all okay.
It is. Yes, it is all okay.
Wow. So my question for you is, when you help people book these solo trips, do they come to you and say they want to go anywhere in the world, or do you have specific places that you book to?
Yeah, so I have a system where I actually get to really know them first. So this is where my mental status of that person comes in play as well. So I have a very detailed interview with the person where I get to know what are the reasons they want to go somewhere. What is the intention they have behind that wanting to get away? And from there, I analyze all of their wants and needs and their budget, their time, and then I put together something that will suit them perfectly. So, for example, say if you're a mom, you've got 2 kids under the age of 5, and your husband's only got 4 or 5 days off, so you don't want to go too far. So I pick a destination that will only take, say, 4 to 5 hours to fly. Somewhere she will get pushed out of her comfort zone a little bit. It will have things that she likes doing. Say, for example, if she liked surfing, or she liked dancing, or she liked to do cooking classes. So I pick them to really enhance their whole being. And when they are in that space, they just get to be them. And it makes it a lot more interesting and fun for that person to experience that, instead of saying, not knowing exactly what that person's all about, and giving them an itinerary that will be my perfect holiday, but not hers, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you are doing a custom package for them, so to speak.
That's
so it's not
correct. Yeah.
It's not like
it's very...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's very, very personalized. It's personalized from their whole personality to their wants. And then being a mindset coach, I can also read between the lines what they're not saying as well. So when I'm putting a package together for them, I'll be going like, honey, you need to be doing this because I think you will benefit from pushing your boundaries a little bit. If she goes, oh, I don't really like going dancing by myself. It's like, oh, yes, you do. You just have forgotten that part of you when, now you're a mom and a wife. Going out dancing by yourself is the most liberating thing I ever do. It's like, I don't need to talk to no one, go straight to the dance floor. I don't even buy any drinks. I'm the worst customer for all these bars and clubs. Go straight to the dance floor and dance till they kick me out. So, that's like, going back, getting in touch with your inner child, going back to being free, and you don't really care who's watching because I just like, there's no one watching. So that's when I personalize it brings their inner child out. It lets them let their hair down and not worry about what's going to happen, because I have given them all the insights of what to expect, what to not expect. So you kind of like almost prep to go out to have fun.
I like what you said as far as you really sit down and you get to know that person, because what I hear you saying, so let's say I came to you and I said, you know what, I want to take a trip to Hawaii. But once you start interviewing me, maybe you say, you know what, Trina, you don't need to go to Hawaii. You need to go to Bali. Do you do things like that?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Sometimes people come to me and they want to go to a resort where they just want to throw the bags and just stay at the hotel. And I was like, the first question I asked them, do you have a pool at home? And they go, yep. Okay, then just stay home because you have a resort at home. You don't need to go anywhere. So it's like they still want to be in their comfort zone, even though they want to go somewhere. And a lot of solo travelers that I do meet, they're traveling without intention. They're just traveling. And that's absolutely fine because you're on holiday. You're not finding who you are. I shouldn't say finding who you are, because you already are who you are. You just got to really remember what it was like to be you before the society conditioned you, before everybody else told you who you are. So when I actually talk to these people, these girls, I say, well, you know what? I know you want to go to Bali. Bali sounds exciting because, everybody goes there. It's beach, it's cheap and blah, blah, blah. What about New Zealand? It's got a lot more class. It's got a lot more personality. It's got a lot more, scenery and green and lakes and mountains and beaches and something different. So people go, oh, never thought of that. And then when they come back, they go, oh my God, I'm so glad I did that. It was amazing. So I haven't, touched wood, haven't had anyone come back and say I did not like it. So it does take a lot of time. It's not as simple as just going online and booking. Oh yeah, Hawaii sounds nice. Let's go there. Mind you, I love Hawaii. Hawaii is one of my beach places to go to. But yeah, it does take more than just booking. It's more about actually getting to know the person, and also sometimes when the person is in this bubble, they don't get to see. The perception is clouded because they're acting from a place of fear, where they go, oh, if I stay in a resort, I'll be safe. But if you have all the right information, you'll be safe anywhere. Just like in life, if you have all the right information, like the knowledge, you surround yourself with the right people, you learn. Learning is a big thing that people stop after university, high school. I say you are supposed to learn every day till the day you die. So the similar concept with life to traveling. If you have all the right tools, you're never going to get into trouble. You don't have to fear. Things will work out. Everything will be fine. You just have to have that belief. But the belief comes from certainty of knowing exactly how to attract the right people, attract the right situations. And that attraction only comes from really knowing what you want. So if you're constantly fearful, you're going to attract more fearful things in life, which is, sometimes in some people's cases is very sad because they keep on attracting bad situation after bad situation. And so when I teach them how to do it the right way, they get super excited. And then I get super excited seeing them as a different person when they're normally, sometimes these girls are different people before they even leave. So, that's a bonus of just having that time away on their own. Yeah, so it's super exciting.
So do you book people at places that you have already been, or would you book someone somewhere that you have never been before, but you do your research and decide that that's a place for them?
Yeah, so it depends. I would do both. Like I do both on depending on the situation. So if for example I've been to a place, I would definitely recommend if it suited their personality. But also I'm really quite well researched as well, and I've been to quite a lot of places, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm recommending something, it is through a lot of research, and then I have contacted each like tour companies that I'm going to send them on, or I have met the tour companies and the hotels and the airports they're going to be flying in and out of and so forth. So they have a very good knowledge of everything before they're going. But I also like to leave element of surprise, because I think that's the most exciting part in life. Everything has to be there has to be a little bit of surprise. So say for example, one of the girls I sent to Italy, I gave her a package that I said open it on this date, and it was a cooking class, and she did say to me she hates cooking at home. And I thought, how about we change it so she enjoys it? And normally when somebody says I hate cooking, there is no way you will actually give them a cooking class
Right.
session when they're overseas. It's just stupid, right? But when she came back, she said to me, oh my God, I love that cooking class. It was so much fun. And because it was done with like an Italian grandma and ma and daughter, it was an amazing atmosphere as well. And the whole experience, I think she said 4 hours, they went out to pick the produce and then make all the produce and then sit down and eat it with a whole group of, I think there was 12 people in that group. And she said to me, she says, now I cook with a different perspective. I'm actually creating instead of just doing a chore. So I loved it. And that's what like I felt after I did my first cooking class, because I hated cooking. And I was like always screaming at the kids, why don't you help out? I'm always cooking. I'm not your slave. But now I feel like when I cook, I create, and I create to serve my family, people that I love. So shift off your perception. And these are the things you are to learn when you travel. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, Yogita, let's shift a little bit. So I love to know what people did in their life prior to doing the thing that they loved doing that has brought them to this next level in life. So tell us, what did you do in your life before you opened up your business to the traveling with me, myself, and I?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's like a very important part of my life that brought me to where I am now. I was in a corporate world. I worked, I finished university with accounting and economics degree. And then after that, I moved from New Zealand to Australia and bought a holiday resort style business, which was 24/7, because when you own a hotel, you're kind of like on call 24/7. And I decided with the youngest kid still at the age of under 2 that I will actually run it myself as well, because I'm that super woman. And I got to a place where I was totally burnt out. And that burnt out was a couple of reasons. It was, I had way too much on my plate. I didn't really like asking for help. Asking for help was for people who were losers. And I wasn't one of them, things you tell yourself when you're that naive. And I also thought, having a corporate image was what I was born to do. Like, I am somebody important because I am a corporate something. Then it was like, no, my soul is very quietly dying inside this whole mask of being who I'm not. And that's where the authentic me was dying to get out. I needed to do something else, and I couldn't carry on doing that. So I am in the process at the moment of writing this book about my whole story from my corporate world to my now business, and everything in between that has woken me up to wanting to live my purpose, let my soul grow to what it's supposed to learn and evolve in this life. Because I think the biggest thing or the biggest fear I had was that I'm going to get to my deathbed with so many regrets that I wish I did this. I was so much more capable of doing things better and bigger, and I settled. So that fear, I channeled it into this whole thing of, okay, you're now my gift. So I need to use this as the energy that drives me to make this change. And after I sold that hotel business, I started this traveling business, and I have never looked back. Yes, money is not the same. I haven't got money rolling out my ears, but I just don't really care. Honestly, I sometimes don't pay bills and I still don't care. I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe someone might come and turn the electricity off. I won't have any power. But it used to scare me before. It doesn't anymore. Because I get one email from one soul saying what you're doing has changed me or helped me, and that's worth $1 billion. And that kind of fuels me and puts that fire in my belly to keep going. So yeah, I honestly love the journey that I've been through. At the beginning, I thought, oh my God, I'm cursed. But now I know why I had to go through all that to come out this end and have better, different perspective in life. Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that amazing how when you find yourself, it's everything. The money doesn't matter because you're doing what you love. And like you said, when someone comes back and say how you've impacted them, that is such gratification.
It is, absolutely. There's just no words to describe the feeling. Sometimes I'll have shakes just reading that email. Sometimes I'll have tears just reading that email. And like yesterday, I did a video on mental health because I'm passionate about mental health. And all I asked everyone to do is stop and ask, how am I today? And I got hundreds of emails from people saying, when they watched the video and they asked themselves, how am I today? They actually had tears in their eyes answering that question because they hadn't stopped to breathe and ask that question. And so, yeah, it just is very gratifying. Like you said, there's no replacement. Money can't replace that.
Wow, that's very powerful. Share with us, what else do you do in your business? I think you said you were a coach, and then I see you do retreats. Tell us about some of the other things you do.
Okay, so my business has got two elements. One is everything to do with traveling, and the other one is everything to do with mindset. And they're combined together. I have this saying, solo travel to self-discovery. And that combination together is your mindset. If you have got the right mindset and you're traveling your life and through the world with intention, you are creating what you were born here to do. You living your dream. So I'm teaching people how to let go of their fear, let go of their limitations, and let go of their conditioning, because all of us have had this conditioning or self-limiting beliefs that we grew up with. And when we get to a certain point, we just do them without even thinking. So the second part of my business is coaching. So coaching is done through workshops and retreats. And in that process of coaching, they all kind of like start opening up to different opportunities, different ideas, and a bit more open-minded and open-hearted. So they're letting more into their lives instead of resisting everything that happens. Like the greatness might be happening just around you, but because you have got tunnel vision, you're just walking right past it, and you're missing out on the opportunities. So I love it when people come together at these retreats. I've got one coming up on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of November, which is on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. It's an amazing little place. You're on the beach. The beach is literally empty, so it's all yours. Even though there's so many people in Australia, that beach is absolutely beautiful and it's just yours. So we're going to be sharing all our aha moments and having amazing connection with ourselves and with people that will be there. And so that's one of the elements. And the big element of everything else also I do is I'm just about to publish this book, which I want to travel around the world and spread the message. So I want to do some public speaking at different events, empowering women in that sense. But the message is all about really having that space and time to find the authentic you.
Wow. I love it. Your message just so aligns with my message, and I would love to work with you on some kind of future venture, because it's just so exciting to me. I just get so excited when I find like-minded people.
I know, I've got goosebumps right now. And when I first saw you on social media, and I went like, oh my God, who is this girl? She is awesome. I have to meet her. And I honestly love what you do. And that's like you said, I would love to, if we can join forces in little space or big space, doesn't matter what. And because each one of us have got different learnings and life experiences, and we can complement and lift each other and help more people. Absolutely.
So we're going to shift gears and we're going to go into the questions. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, so question number 1. Who or what motivates you?
Okay, so I have a couple of people that motivate me. The biggest influence in my life has been Mahatma Gandhi. Now, even though he's not alive anymore, he has been a huge influence in terms of how I live my life. The other person that has been a life changer for me has been Richard Benson. The reason I connected with his being and his whole journey is the fact that I also have dyslexia. And most of my life, before I found out about Richard Benson, shares the same gift, because I used to call it a problem or a weakness, but now it's a gift that I have got me to stop making myself the victim of the world. I used to think, oh my God, why can't I think like normal people? Why can't I do normal things? Like I couldn't spell to save myself right through high school, right through primary school as well. So I was very, very, how do I describe it? Like tightly cocooned into this little space where I didn't want anybody to see me, because I defined myself as someone who's really stupid, and I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't good enough. So I didn't want anybody to see me, because if they saw me, they will laugh at me, they will reject me, they won't love me. So Richard Benson, I literally shifted that for me, and I went like, if this amazing man, one of the richest men, one of the creative men, has got no shame in telling the world that he has this gift, why am I worried about it? Why am I so scared about it? Why am I defining myself as my weakness, not my gift? So he's one of the big influence. And the other person that I really looked up to, and I still do, is my mom. My mom has dementia now, but she has been that power woman that everything is possible. And I think she's the reason why I pushed through and survived everything, given all my, my situation that, I was quietly struggling inside this big, huge cocoon that I was hiding behind. But now I see everything that she did, how she encouraged me, empowered me, kept on emphasizing on all my greatness instead of my weakness, which was something that I'm forever grateful that she did that.
Okay. What demotivates you?
What demotivates me is toxic people. Toxic people that are always, the glass is half empty all the time. And they, for some reason, seem to think they know it all. And I find that if I surround myself with people like that, it demotivates me. So I normally have this principle that when I do meet people like this, I am to try and help them. If they do not need my help, I am to walk away. And it has taken me a long time to come to this, because I used to be people pleaser and try and please everybody, even though they drain the life out of you, you just keep on trying to please them. So now I have to say I'm so happy that I have created this space where everybody in my life is very uplifting, energizing, and supportive of what I believe in, what I stand for, and vice versa. Yeah.
Okay. When was a time that something was said or done to hurt you, but it worked for your good?
I think this is a great question. I love this question because everything in life that happens, normally sadness, it's always there is a greatness after that. I have had a lot of setbacks where I had to really push in and go, I need to find more strength from this sadness, or I need to learn my lesson from this sadness. So one of the situations, I think the most current one would be right now we have had, what month are we in? October. So my husband hasn't been well, and it has been like almost 10 months now, and the doctors still haven't figured out what is actually wrong with him. And so he hasn't worked for 10 months almost. And this sadness of not knowing what's wrong with him, when I say what's wrong with him, he actually is really unwell, like he can't walk, and the doctors are trying to figure out, is it cancer, is it this, is it that? They still have got 1 million more tests to do, which is quite sad, but that's what they're doing right now. So the reason I am actually seeing this sadness as something that is greatness at the same time is it's given him this space to sit and actually rethink what life should be and what he wants from life, which has also, on the other hand, encouraged me to not take life so lightly, because today could be your last day, so to speak. So, it's kind of like one of those things where we do take everything for granted, and we do take tomorrow for granted, but there is no such thing. So I think this has made me now take a lot more action, like, doesn't matter what it is. I'm taking a lot more action, and I'm attracting the right kind of people, and I'm meeting the right kind of people and right kind of support. So it has channeled into that space where, even though the health is not that great for him, and hence I'm super worried and sometimes stressed. Now I'm kind of like learned to stop worrying and stressing and have more belief and faith that anything that comes out of this is going to be nothing but greatness.
Mm. What is your fear?
My fear used to be dying without living my life to what I'm capable of. At the moment, I do have this tiny, it's not a fear, so to speak. it's more like I'm working to make sure that it is not my fear anymore. It's like both of my daughters, that that they are in a space in the world, that they are living with so much certainty and so much love for themselves, that the outside world can't shake them and break them like it did with me. So I want to live my life as a story that they can see and hear and be empowered by it. It used to be my fear that I'm going to be destroying their lives because of all my fears. So right now it's a work in progress, where if I can set an example for not just, it is definitely for my two daughters, but not just them, but any new generation coming up, that your life you created. It's not like everything I am right now. It's not my mom's fault. It's not because she was so great. It is all because of me. It's not my teacher's fault, or not because my teacher was so great. It's all because of me. Do you know what I mean? You take total responsibility of who you are. So this is what my book is all about as well. So I have literally taken all these actions to make sure that this fear is taken away in pretty much anybody who was or who is in the same situation as I felt I was in.
Okay. Is there a time that you wish you had done something that you didn't?
Yes. Actually, quite a lot of times. When I was growing up, quite a lot of opportunities came my way. Opportunities like acting, opportunities like public speaking, opportunities like modeling, all those things that I loved to do. I wanted to do them, but I was never good enough. And I kept on telling myself, I am not good enough. I sabotaged them on purpose. And I was not good enough. I will get rejected. I will get laughed at. All of these came from the fact that I have dyslexia. And when I was at school, the teachers pointed it out that I was not good enough. The kids laughed at me because I wasn't good enough. So it kind of set in, and it just stayed there. It was not going to go away till I took control of it and shifted that and changed that. There were lots of opportunities that I missed out on, but now I see why I have, and like why I did, and now I have let my lesson, everything now. My now thing is say yes to any opportunity that comes along, and then figure out how you're going to do it. So big shift, totally different person.
Okay. Now here's the opposite. Is there a time when you wish you had not done something?
Yes, there is. When I bought my hotel business, I bought it from the place where it was ego, also fear. I wish I didn't do that. I think driven by fame, money, ego, fear, all that just literally destroys your whole being. And by doing that, I actually now have got this thing that I'm trying to undo, because in the process of doing that, I taught my daughters to do that because they were watching me do that. And that's how children learn. Like we learn it like that. We learn from our parents, watching them what they do. And then we do it subconsciously. We do the same thing. So I do have that regret that when I was doing that, I was like, motivated with this corporate image and corporate power and so forth. And so the whole thing after that business with my current business now is literally undoing and reprogramming my children as well. Both of my daughters, I want to show them that you don't have to do all that. You don't have to be all that. Mom made a mistake, and it doesn't serve you. And what I'm doing now is going to serve you. And that's why this is very important to me, what I'm doing now. This is not a business to make money. This is a business to change people's lives. And I'm very, it's very personal to me, if you know what I mean.
Okay. What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is having the abundance of health, freedom, and the love and connection with yourself and with your loved ones, and also going to bed with a big smile on your face that everything you've done, you have no regrets all day long, and then waking up with the big fire in your belly that I am so excited to serve whoever needs me today. Doesn't matter if they have money to pay my fees or not. I'm constantly helping people. They can't pay me. I still just go, here's a free ticket. And people say to me, don't do that. That's not how you run business. But I am running a different business. My business is to actually help. And I totally believe in this, that if I keep helping, somehow, somewhere, I will have this come back to me in enough terms that will pay all my bills and keep my family happy. Mm-hmm. So that's my definition of success.
How do you recharge?
I recharge in lots of different ways, actually, because I am pro at being alone. I love going to movies. Movies is my me thing. And I always go alone with a big bucket of popcorn and every sugar you can find. And I love doing walk on the beach barefooted, just sand between your toes, fresh air in your face, and sun in your. It just re-energizes in a different sense. And I also like to travel. So with traveling, I find it re-energizing because you kind of like anticipating. I love the journey. A lot of people look forward to the destination, which is amazing, but I love the journey, everything that you kind of go through to get there. Similar concept in life as well. You love the journey because the destination in life is death, really. So I re-energize in lots of different ways, but my favorite is movies, especially when it's something that normally the movie I pick on the day that is what I'm looking for, the answers I'm looking for, or the inspiration I'm looking for, or ideas or advice or something like that. It somehow just falls into my lap. That would be the thing.
Okay. What are you awesome at?
I think I am awesome at reading people. I have this gift, I think, because of the fact that my soul has learned so much from other experiences, that at this stage in my life, if you say everything you want me to hear, I'll tell you what you want to say. I have that gift, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Okay. What legacy do you want to leave?
I want to leave for every woman that to have self-love, it has to come from inside. It's within you. It's not from outside. So the legacy I'm going to leave behind is find your authentic you, own it, and live it, and be proud of it.
Okay. And I think you just did it, but what's one motivational takeaway that you want to leave the listeners with?
Motivational takeaway is, doesn't matter how scared you are, how fearful you are of things like you won't fit in, you'll be laughed at, you'll be judged, you'll be criticized. Know this, every one of us have feared that at some point in our lives. and you have all the strength within you to push past this fear, break through this excuses and walls that this fear has created for you, and just be awesome you. That would be like the ultimate happiness, the ultimate gift you can give yourself, is the true version of you. And that true version doesn't exist if you are living in fear, if you are hiding behind walls and you're putting on masks to fit in. It doesn't exist then. So I want to leave the listeners with this. I really believe in it. I am literally the walking, living example of that. And if I can do it, I think you can too.
Okay, Yogita, tell the listeners how they can contact you and where they can find you.
So I have a website, travelingwithmemyselfandi.com. Now, traveling with is spelled with only one L. So traveling is spelled with one L, travelingwithmemyselfandi.com. And all my contact details, phone, social media is on that website. And I also am going to be doing a road trip, or, traveling around different countries with my book next year, and hosting a couple of different retreats in different parts of the world. So you can definitely get that information on my website as well. And I might be coming to see Trina. Who knows?
Oh, please do.
Yeah. So we can definitely get together and do something where people can come and contact us and meet us and so forth.
Great. Well, Yogita, I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on Trina Talk today. It has been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my message and share my story. And it's always a pleasure to be talking to like-minded and like-hearted people like yourself. And I am so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Oh, take care. If you like Trina Talk, please don't forget to go out to Apple Podcasts to subscribe. Also, who else in your life do you know that needs some motivation and inspiration in their life? Don't forget to share Trina Talk with them. I hope you have a great week. And remember, if you change your mindset, you can change your life. Keep striving, because success is a journey, not a destination. You can listen to Trina Talk anytime and anywhere. It's available on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, and all other places that you can listen to podcasts. If you like the podcast, please don't forget to go to iTunes to subscribe, rate, review, and share. If you have questions for me or need inspiration on how to go to the next level, tweet me directly at Trina L. Martin.